Katoa, new team unknown on NRL Rugby. The return that shocked everyone. Can a single signature on a contract rewrite the destiny of a warrior who once fled the battlefield, only to return as its most feared conqueror? The ink had barely dried on the 2025 NRL season when whispers began to swirl through the humid corridors of Redcliffe's Dolphin Stadium, where the air still carried the salt of Moreton Bay and the echoes of a franchise forever chasing its first premiership. Eli Katoa, the Tongan second rower whose thunderous hits had once shaken the foundations of Melbourne's AME Park, had vanished from the league's spotlight 2 years prior, his departure shrouded in the quiet dignity of family duty. Please like, share, and subscribe for more sport talk content. Now, on a rain-slicked November evening in 2025, the Dolphins' training ground gleamed under floodlights like a coliseum awaiting its gladiator. Katoa stood there, his silhouette cutting through the mist, the red and white jersey clinging to shoulders broader than memory, his eyes carrying the weight of oceans crossed and promises kept. His journey had begun in the red dust of Tonga's villages, where rugby league was more than sport. It was survival, identity, the heartbeat of a people scattered across the Pacific. Melbourne had plucked him from New Zealand's junior ranks, molding him into a storm system juggernaut. But the call of home had proven stronger than any contract clause. The turning point crystallized in the Dolphins team meeting room, its walls adorned with photos of past glories that never were. Coach Wayne Bennett, the sage whose voice could silence storms, slid the contract across the table like a sacred offering. Katoa's hands, calloused from years of construction work in Auckland, trembled slightly as he gripped the pen. "I left to build a future for my kids," he told Bennett, his voice steady but laced with the ache of absence. But the field kept calling me back. Every night, I'd dream of the hit stick, the roar, the brotherhood. I thought I'd outrun it. Bennett's response was simple, delivered with the gravitas of a man who had seen legends rise and fall. "Son, the game doesn't let go of its own." As Katoa signed, the room held its breath. Teammates Hamiso Tabuai Fidau and Jeremy Marshall King watched from the doorway, their faces a mixture of awe and recognition. This was no ordinary return. This was prodigal son territory, the kind of homecoming that rugby league folklore was built upon. The announcement dropped the next morning, a Dolphins social media post that shattered the offseason calm. Eli Katoa, inked for 3 years, returning to the NRL with the fire of a man reborn. The video of his first training run went viral within minutes, his trademark fin sending a tackling bag flying, his laugh echoing across the field like thunder rolling in from the bay. The aftermath unfolded like a Pacific wave gathering force. Melbourne Storm fans, still nursing the wound of his 2023 departure, flooded comment sections with bittersweet emojis and memories of his bone-rattling tackles. "We never replaced his heart," one wrote, beneath a clip of Katoa's 2022 preliminary final performance that had left opponents seeing stars. Across the Tasman, New Zealand media framed it as a national triumph, the prodigal Kiwi returning not to the Warriors, but to Queensland's upstart franchise, proving that talent forged in Aotearoa could conquer anywhere. Tongan rugby league pages celebrated with traditional chants translated into captions, "The son of Ha'ateho returns to claim his throne." In Redcliffe's local pubs, where Dolphin scarves hung like battle flags, patrons raised glasses to the unknown quantity now anchoring their pack. "He's not just back," the bartender told a journalist from the Courier Mail. "He's back with something to prove, to his kids, to his culture, to every coach who ever doubted a man's right to choose family over fame." The cultural resonance ran deeper than statistics. Katoa's return embodied the Pacifica narrative woven through rugby league's fabric. Players who carried villages on their backs, who sent remittances home with every tackle, who understood that legacy wasn't measured in tries scored, but in the example set for the next generation, watching from island lounges at 3 a.m. Reflection settles like morning mist over the training paddock, where Katoa now mentors young Polynesian prospects with the patience of a man who has walked away and found his way back. His story challenges the mercenary narrative of modern sport, proving that sometimes the greatest transfers aren't about money, but about timing, the moment when personal growth aligns with professional purpose. This homecoming speaks to the redemptive power of second chances, the way rugby league, more than any code, understands that warriors are forged not in unbroken streaks of glory, but in the crucible of sacrifice and return. Katoa's absence made his presence electric, his every hit now carrying the weight of 2 years worth of unspoken determination. What does it mean to reclaim your arena after choosing to leave it? For Katoa, it's found in the quiet moments, teaching his son to tackle in the backyard, explaining to his daughter why daddy's nails are painted Dolphins colors now, showing them that strength includes knowing when to step away and when to charge back in. The brotherhood of the locker room has embraced him like a long-lost sibling. Veterans speak of his leadership in huddles, how he shares stories of Tongan resilience that make Queensland-born players reconsider their own privilege. He doesn't just hit hard, Captain Jesse Bromwich says. He carries hard. The hopes of two nations, the lessons of fatherhood, the proof that you can build a house and still tear one down on the field. Sportsmanship finds new definition in Katoa's return, not in the absence of conflict, but in the grace of resolution. He harbors no bitterness toward Melbourne, sending public thanks to Craig Bellamy for the foundation laid, while privately mentoring Storm youngsters via Zoom, paying forward the wisdom that once shaped him. Legacy, for a player in his prime, usually projects forward in premiership predictions. But Katoa's is already being written in the present tense, in the eyes of every Pacifica kid who sees that family comes first, that the field will wait, that true warriors measure success by the lives they touch off the pitch as much as on it. Katoa's own words came in a raw interview with NRL 360, his voice carrying the cadence of South Pacific storytellers. I left the NRL thinking I'd lost my edge, working construction sites with blokes who didn't know I played Origin. But every hammer swing reminded me I was building more than houses. I was building the man my kids needed me to be. In a team address captured on the Dolphins documentary series, he told his new teammates, I didn't come back for redemption. I came back complete. The field took a boy and gave me glory. Life took a man and gave me perspective. Now I play for both versions of myself and for every kid watching who thinks they have to choose between dreams and duty. Speaking to Tongan media in Nuku'alofa via satellite, he grew emotional. My grandmother used to say the sea doesn't forget its sons. I thought that meant I'd drown in regret for leaving. But standing here in Dolphins colors, I understand she meant the tide always brings you home when you're ready. In a quiet moment with Bennett after his first captain's run, Katoa confided, Coach, I used to play angry, at the world, at expectations. Now I play grateful. Every contract is a promise to my kids that their dad chose them first and the game second. That changes how you hit, how you lift, how you live. As the 2026 season dawns, Katoa's return becomes more than a roster move. It is rugby league's parable of resurrection. The Dolphins, perpetual underdogs, now carry the hopes of a diaspora, their second rower a living bridge between cultures, between past and future, between the player he was and the legend he is becoming. This moment transcends team allegiances, speaking to the universal truth that sometimes the greatest victories are won in absence. The space where character is forged, where priorities crystallize, where a warrior learns that true power lies not in never leaving the battlefield, but in having the courage to return to it transformed. In the end, Eli Katoa'S signature wasn't just on a contract. It was on the soul of rugby league itself, reminding us